West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I'm on half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, Machel St. Patrick Hewitt, and it's a little quick episode today. Obviously, we're in the midst of CPL, and my thing with CPL is I don't believe during T20 tournaments, obviously the big ones like IPL, people just churn out content after content after content. Because T20 leagues aren't my bag, like they're not my thing. CPL is the only one that can just about make me pay some level of attention. All the rest, I just dip in and out as and when a West Indian player does something of note. So when it comes around to these T20 tournaments, I don't like doing content for the sake of content. I'll only record something if there's something worth recording. I'm really not studying it. Like that. And actually, as Santoki always says, when CPL comes about, it's a bit of a welcome break for the podcast, and that we don't have to be committed to doing like people messaging us going, what about this and what about that? Like we can actually take a bit of a break. All of that notwithstanding, something did kind of pique my interest a couple of days ago with regards to CPL. As things currently stand in the Caribbean Premier League table, if I just get it up at this moment in time, the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons, a team that I pretty much wrote off actually, because in my preview, I kind of said this is a team of all-rounders without a clear identity. Now, I hasten to add that they are top of CPL as things currently stand, but bear in mind that they've played 6 games, yeah? So Antigua and Barbuda Falcons, and that doesn't mean they won't make it to the final 4. I think they may. I actually think they stand a very strong chance of making it to the final 4, but only because St. Kitts are useless and Barbados have gone for a youth strategy, which could well backfire against them, right? So Antigua could sneak in as the 4th team in the CPL table, right? So they're currently top, played 6 matches, 7 points. Amazon Warriors are second, played 2 matches, 4 points. Trinbago third, played 3 matches, 4 points. St. Kitts fourth, 6 matches, 4 points. St. Lucia fifth, 4 matches, 4 points. Barbados Royals last, 3 matches, 1 point. So it's a bit of a misnomer to say Antigua are leading the league in CPL is a bit of a misnomer, given they've played more matches than basically everyone bar down bad St. Kitts, right? But that notwithstanding, they still have 7 points. They've won half of their games, lost 2, and had a washout. Now, at the leading the way for Antigua and Barbuda Falcons as things currently stand in the competition is Karima Gore. And given the nature of how West Indies cricket operates, I know that there will start to be, if it hasn't already happened, I know that there will start to be a groundswell of opinion that says that Karima Gore should be called up to the West Indies team. If it's yet to fully materialize, I can guarantee you that by the time this tournament is done, you're going to have people saying it. Now, let me get this off the bat, first things first. Firstly, we've had Karima Gore on the podcast before, whereas you'll have all of these different outlets and people trying to tell you who Karima Gore is. If you go back into the Caribbean Cricket Podcast archives, and actually in the descriptor below, I'll put a link to the episode. We actually had Karima Gore on about, was it 3 years ago, when he was playing in Cool and Smooth. And this is why I always say, CCP, we're ahead of the curve. We've had Karima Gore on. We've spoken about his background, his history, and his cricketing capabilities and so on and so forth. So if you don't know anything about Karima Gore and you actually want to understand who Karima Gore is, look in the descriptor below and click the link to an interview we did with him about 3 years ago. CCP, we're always ahead of the curve. But let me get this out from the jump, because this will shock a few people. Do I think Karima Gore should be in the West Indies first 11 / 15-man squad? If the World Cup was tomorrow, do I think Karima Gore should be in the squad? No. So that's 5 before 5 minutes have even passed in this podcast. I'm getting that out from the jump. And if Karima watches this, no disrespect is intended. Do I believe he gets into a West Indies 11 or World Cup squad? No, I do not. Do I believe he will play for the West Indies very soon? Yes, I do. Hear me out. The next T20 engagement for the West Indies is 3 matches against Nepal at the back end of September. Yes, Antigua have played significantly more matches in the competition aside from down bad St. Kitts, right? Yes, he may well not be leading the way. I was like, Colin Munro is currently so Karima Gore currently is the top run scorer in the competition, 218 runs in 5 innings, right? Colin Munro is only 9 runs behind him. Is it 9? Sorry, 11 runs behind him, but he's only batted 3 innings. Andre Fletcher, 186 runs, he's batted 6 innings. My point being, more so with Colin Munro, is that a lot of people haven't batted as much as Karima Gore has. That doesn't mean that we should take away from what Karima Gore has done. If you look at ESPN's smart stats around impact, Karima Gore currently is ranked 3rd in their list of most impactful players in CPL this year. Jason Holder's number 1, Munro is 2, Karima Gore is 3. If you look at their stats around bat impact, Munro is 1, Jason Holder is 2, Karima Gore is 3. So if we're looking at it from a pound for pound perspective, Karima Gore is there. Karima Gore should be highlighted on merit, on lots of different stats metrics. So going back to my point, do I think he'll play for the West Indies? Yes, because the Nepal series should be, if I'm Darren Sammy, Avanesh, Floyd Reefer, Rayon, etc., all of the kind of Ravi, all of the West Indies backroom staff, I am using the Nepal series as a chance to look at my bench strength. Don't get me wrong, I'm still carrying some of my 18, like my first choice players, but I'm also using it to look at some of the bench strength. So what that Nepal series should in theory be used for is the very best performers in CPL probably should / deserve the chance to go and play against Nepal in Dubai to see if they can make Darren Sammy feel something. However, I am unwilling to jump from Karima Gore is having a great CPL thus far after 13, 14 matches, whatever it is in the competition, and therefore should jump straight into the West Indies team. The reality is that Karima is batting number 3 for the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons. When you look at the West Indies setup, is there a spot for Karima Gore in the first choice West Indies 11? No, there's not. He's not supplanting a Shea Hope. He's not supplanting a Hetmeyer. He's not supplanting a Rutherford. He's not, unless he wants to bowl and can be effective, he's not supplanting a Chase. He's not supplanting a Holder. He's not supplanting a Romario Shepherd. That's without me calling any other names. He just doesn't get in front of that lot, right? You've got Ali Cathanase and Jewel Andrew currently as what looks like the backup squad players to Evan Lewis and Brandon King, who would normally be your openers, right? So when you look at the wider squad, if you're trying to fill out a 15, there is no obvious spot for a Karima Gore to sneak in. He would have to continue to have a worldy tournament. He'd have to end the tournament as like number 1 on bat impact, top run scorer, to really force Darren Sammy into a question. But his first kind of target should be, can I get my name into that Nepal series? Is that Nepal series being used to look at bench strength? If it's not, it should be. Can Karima Gore get his name into that? Yes, I think he can. Is it a sad indictment on West Indies cricket that all a man has to do is have one CPL season where he does something that's unexpected and that automatically gets you into a West Indies squad of some sort? That's down bad to me. Like, it shouldn't be that way, but it is what it is. This is West Indies cricket. Our bench strength isn't that deep. So I can see a situation in which Karima forces his way into the squad that goes to Nepal. Breaking down his innings so far. So he scored 61 from 34 balls in a losing effort against the Patriots. 64 not out from 53 balls in a winning. In fact, he guided that win chase against the Royals, or the win against the Royals, sorry. 10 from 11 in a win against Trinbago. All of these are at number 3. 31 from 14 in a loss against the Amazon Warriors. That was a bad loss. And then 52 not out from 47 balls in a win against the Patriots, again, guiding it home. So you have those 2 knocks in particular against down bad Royals and down bad Patriots, where he's not gone at like 150 plus. He's gone at like 120 odd, but he's guided the team to a victory. That's important. It's important that somebody in the top 3, top 4 knows how to guide a run chase or to guide an innings? Would you like someone like that to be explosive at the back end more often? Yes, of course. And in fairness, in one of those innings, he kind of was. He caught up at the back end in one of those particular innings. But I wouldn't look at the 64. I'm just trying to bring up those innings, actually. So let's bring up the 64 against the Royals. Bear with me, people. If this works, it takes so long. So in that innings against the Royals made 151 from 6 batting first, right? Antigua chased it down with 2 balls remaining with Karima. Karima came in after 2.2 overs, right? And was still there at the back end. It still needed some big hitting from Kadeem Alleyne at the back end, but Karima guided the innings all the way through. And that does stand out. Yes, the strike rate was only 121, but if you can come in early, 2.2 overs, and still guide a run chase home, I think that does stand out. I think that does warrant attention. In the most recent game he played against the Patriots, where he scored 52, not out from 47 balls. Let me just try to bring this one up. My internet's doing dumbness. So in that one, St. Kitts, in fact, I watched that game. I've just remembered I watched that down bad game. That game was horrid. St. Kitts made 133 for 9, and the Royal Falcons chased it down with 2 balls remaining. This time, Karima came in after 4.3 overs. Again, Rakeem Cornwall getting out in the 5th over. Karima comes in after 4.3 overs and is still there at the end. Yes, it needed some big hitting from Shakib, but Karima was still there at the end to guide the team home to a win. So innings like that stand out because it's not just about can you bat huge at number 3. If you can come in the power play and still be there at the back end, yes, I'd like that strike rate to be a bit more than 120. But if you can still be there at the back end and guide a run chase in a T20, I have to take notice. I do have to take notice. Doesn't mean I'm saying he's a brilliant player, but I have to take notice of the maturity. He's only 27 years old. Remember that West Indian players don't mature till about 30, 31. So he's only 27 years old. And then, of course, you have the statement knock, which is right at the beginning of the tournament, albeit in a defeat, where he scored 61 from 34 balls against the Patriots, 31 from 14 balls against the Amazon Warriors, which shows that he can go at a higher strike rate if the situation demands it. Or I don't know yet if I'd say he can go at a higher strike rate because he just can go at a higher strike rate. I'd need to see I'd need to see a few more innings in the remaining games that Antigua have in this tournament. I'd like to see a few more innings to see can he go at. So against Guyana, his strike rate was 221, but then they lost that match by 83 runs, right? So I need to see a few more innings where he goes at a strike rate above 120 in a winning effort. Do you catch my drift there? Because for me, when you go at a strike rate above 160, 170, and your team's not winning, I don't know. Like the guy in the Amazon Warriors innings, 31 from 14, I don't really put much stock by that innings because it was a down bad, horrendous defeat, right? So and they were never going to chase the 200 and odd. So I kind of feel like, oh, it's easy to hit out in that scenario because you're not like you almost have no other option and you're not going to win anyways. And then the opening knock, the 61 against the Patriots. Let me just find that one again, which was I think that was the opening game of the tournament. Hate using this website, man. In that opening knock against the Patriots, the first game of the tournament, so Antigua made 121, right? Down bad innings. And again, obviously, Karima, he came in after 4 balls. And I'd like it. Maybe that is a good innings. He came in after 4 balls. Nobody else made more than 12 runs. And he scored 61 from 34 balls, right? So I guess of the 5 innings he's had, I'd say the 61 from 34 when no one else makes runs on what seems to be, well, it wasn't a difficult pitch because St. Kitts chased it down. St. Kitts chased that down in 15 overs, right? With Evan batting at 192, Kyle Mayers for 8 balls batting 187, Alec Cafanese 132, Jason Holder 100. Like, that's a difficult one. It's a difficult one to decide where you rate it. But then at the same time, you simply have to look at it and go, well, no one else in this team did well. And he managed to score 61 from 34. So you have to rate it, right? So that's a good knock. The 64 from 53 is a mature knock against the Royals. The 52 from 47 is a mature knock against the Patriots. So 3 of his 5 innings are rate. I just want to see a few more explosive innings. I need to see a few more explosive innings that are game changers, that are important in a winning effort. Am I being harsh? I possibly am being harsh. But one of the reasons why I'm being harsh is because I don't want to fall into that trap that so many people do, which is see a West Indian player perform 1-2 times and go, right, you're straight into the West Indies team. As things currently stand, 6 games into Antigua's tournament, 2025 CPL tournament, is he in pole position to get into that Nepal squad? Yes, but only if that Nepal squad is being used to test bench strength. Do I need to see more before I buy into the Karima Gore hype? Yes, most definitely. Would I like to see him bowl some overs? Yes, because I think if he puts some bowling into his reps and his repertoire, and he can bowl, that puts a bit more pressure on certain spots in the West Indies team. Anyway, people, I've thrown the little bits and pieces out there. I've got the do-rag on because my hair is in repair stage after cutting off my locks. I've got to look after it to get the health back into it. But I'll be Machel St. Patrick, one half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. You can support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. You can support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast by going to www.patreon.com/CaribCricket. So many different tiers of support within the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. At the bare minimum, you can support with £2, $2, £2, to rupee, to East Caribbean dollars, whatever it is, whatever your currency is, and that gets you access to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast Discord. The £5 tier gets you 25% off the merch. New merch is dropping. That reminds me, I need to email the merch company because the merch hasn't arrived yet. It should have arrived today or tomorrow. So I'm going to email them and chase it up. When that drops, obviously, you'll see me modeling them. 25% off if you want in on the new Caribbean Cricket Podcast shirts. And then there's more tiers after that. Ad-free podcasts. Come and host or co-host podcasts on certain tiers, etc. So get involved if you want to support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. But at the very least, if you don't want to do any of that because you can't, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Algorithm. I'll be Machel St. Patrick here at one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. We'll be back with some more episodes, with some more content in the coming days. Make sure you lock in for that. See you all very, very soon. Peace.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.